Kansas held its annual Holocaust Commemoration Ceremony this afternoon in Topeka, looking back on what we can still learn from the tragedy 80 years later. 13's Madison Bickley was there for the event today.
David, community members gathered at the Topeka Civic Theater, remembering a period of immense suffering that cost the lives of 6 million Jewish men, women, and children.
We remember them as mothers.
We remember them as fathers.
We remember them as grandparents.
We remember them as friends and neighbors.
We remember them as teachers, doctors, builders, and artists.
We remember them as a link to our past and gateway to our future.
Today, we honor memories of the millions of the non-Jewish victims of the Holocaust.
While nearly 80 years have come and gone, the heartache, memories, and lessons from the Holocaust remain a crucial part of history that urges us to examine the culture we live in today.
Each of those 6 million people was an individual whose life had its own dignity and value.
The Holocaust was not a single crime committed against 6 million, but rather the same crime committed millions of times over, experienced uniquely and individually by all it touched.
Events like Mondays offers up a time to remember, to teach, and to honor.
Of the 6 million victims of the Holocaust, about 2.7 million were murdered in the killing centers of Chelmno, Belzec, Sobibor, Treblinka, and Auschwitz-Birkenau. At these sites, the Nazis murdered Jewish people in gas chambers, specifically built to kill them.
Let us hold out our hands and rise up. Let this gathering be our remembrance and responsibility.
Speakers pointed to the hate that fueled the genocide, the embers of which they still see today.
Across the country, and right here in Kansas, we've seen a rise in anti-Semitism, including graffiti in schools, threats to synagogues, and social media posts echoing the same rhetoric used to justify violence 80 years ago.
We all have a role in lowering the temperature and making it so that no one becomes persecuted. Anti-Semitism is rising in America and around the world, and hatred in general and incivility is increasing. The Holocaust doesn't begin with gas chambers, it begins with words. And so we want to be able to all come together and recognize what led to the terrible events of 80 years ago.
Rabbi Samuel Stern says remembering where we've been and how far we've come will help us with the journey that lies ahead.
While there's a lot of pain and sadness, there's also the desire to remember them, to further their memories, and to put our remembering of them to good purpose in the world today.
The Days of Remembrance for the victims of the Holocaust continue through this Wednesday. A link to the Midwest Center for Holocaust Education can be found attached to this story on WIBW.com.
And we were proud to be able to provide the live stream for that very meaningful event today, Madison. Thank you.